Right,
Live.
so that's us live. So today I'm actually talking with my dear friend Lors Tba. So if you haven't checked out her channel, please go and do so. I'll link that in the description down below. So Lors, I'll just let you introduce yourself and let them know what all about you.
Hello. This is all new to me, so if I look like a rabbit in headlights, that's why.
Don't worry.
I'm Lors Tba, known on Facebook, but on YouTube I'm known as October Rain Rocks. On my channel I cover activism, like in the vegan side of things, to do with my son's journey because he's autistic and has other disabilities, other interests I have, and I'm trying to think what else is on my channel. It's a bit of a mixture, some spirituality stuff, and just a bit of a mixture really. So I've got playlists, so if you go on my channel and you want to see veganism stuff, you click on that. If there's other things you want to watch, you click on those playlists, and that way you don't have to scroll through the whole channel if you're just wanting to look at one particular topic. So that's about it really.
That's brilliant. So I was going to ask you as well, you know that obviously I always say there's this kind of thing that people look at people and say that, oh, you've got to be a vegan activist, you've got to be out standing in front of slaughterhouses and stuff. And we've discussed this often. Like I say, we don't agree with that because not everybody can be standing outside a slaughterhouse, and it's for a lot of different reasons. Some people, it can be a really, really an emotional thing. Some people's lives taken to consideration, the things you've got to do, like looking after people and such likes. But you've obviously set up a lot of different things recently for different ideas and such. So maybe if you can discuss them and let them know what kind of things you've come up with.
Well, partly it's because of my general personal life, being a full-time carer. Yeah. So one of those things is that I know that I'm a big softie, and I know what would happen if I tried to go and do a full bearing witness vigil, for example. I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, it's about the animals, and obviously it is, but as a mother and as a carer, I have to take that into consideration, so that if I went to something like that and then came back home all upset, then I've then still got to be a mum when I come home and partake in the care roles that I would have to. Exactly. even out with you know, those type of things. So for me, it's more about taking a different route. So more about remember I said about the whole memorial side of things, you know, going to different places and bringing in things like helping the ecosystem by doing a little memorial somewhere, maybe not right beside a slaughterhouse, if that was the location, but maybe somewhere close by where you can plant some lovely flowers and some stuff like that, so people can go and visit that little spot, and every time people go there they can maybe bring a wee thing there to you know, leave a bit of love in the area. And then also people that can go to the full vigils, like the bearing witness vigils, they can maybe, if you're starting out like me, in the activism side of things, maybe some people might be like, okay, I can maybe do half an hour and then I need to take a break. So then that's a wee space for them to go and do that. So it's for people like me that can't do certain things, well, maybe not at this time anyway. And then it's also for people that maybe can't do a full vigil without taking little breaks in between.
That is absolutely amazing. Like I say, I don't think anybody's ever thought of that. They've obviously done things like laying down flowers and such likes, but that's something you can go back there often, like you said, and obviously it's like a wee memorial type thing. So it's a great idea in my opinion. It really is.
It's just a little tweak in a different direction, you know.
Exactly, because like you say, that not everybody can obviously attend all these things, and you've got to take into consideration as well that the money factor, let's say, because people don't realise that especially us that's on a budget and such like, we're paying like £20-30 just to travel back and forward to vigils and such like, because we don't get anything for it. We do it with the love for the animals, so there's that into consideration as well.
You just need to get a doctor who TARDIS or something.
That's definitely it. Aye. Or a night rider, not.
just teleport from one space to another, and that would be fine.
Exactly. So obviously as well, I was going to say, if you wanted to discuss that, what ideas for the new group that we've obviously set up, you can maybe discuss that. And
You mean the Mighty and Battle group?
Yep.
Right. Well, basically, that's came about again, taking things in a different direction. Now, I know a lot of people that go to a lot of the groups and videos and things that are on the go already are just passionate, and that's why, you know, people are a certain way. But for me, I find that I want to take a different approach, like I said. So it's more about going down a route that's maybe not been done before, which is like, you know, getting a group of people together and partaking in activities that maybe haven't been tackled before, or maybe haven't specifically been targeted before, and just try to run with those new ideas. Because I think the more ideas that we bring forward in the community, the more people we might actually touch, if you know what I mean.
That's exactly it. It's making it inclusive rather than exclusive, because that's where we're kind of going wrong. I think we're making this a kind of approach about abolitionism and things like that, but for everybody that's just not really possible, in my opinion, because like we've discussed before, I think we should really always be congratulating for people for obviously trying to be part of the solution rather than trying to be part of the problem, because steps forward to obviously being vegan is obviously a big thing, and we actually be congratulated rather than just this kind of approach that people have, obviously hating on other people because they're not, in their opinion, fully vegan or 100% vegan, because nobody can be 100% vegan. We know that.
Yeah. I'm just looking at the wee square there, and obviously this is the first time I've done this in some time, so I don't know if you can see me or if you just see the wee icon.
Yeah, I see the wee icon, yeah. You can obviously switch your camera on, you can obviously switch it off. So
I have no idea how that works, so that's how it's on that.
That's absolutely fine. That's how a lot of people do it. Don't worry about that.
But like, yeah, so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. So like, basically it's just to try and bring a bit of newness, a bit of freshness to the community, and tackling things in a different way. Like, you know, the slaughterhouses, for example, like I've said before, they don't always have to be open. Now, some people that do these things are probably going to be like, well, what's the point in that? Well, the point is you're still there, and you're for me, being a spiritual person as well, it's about bringing in certain energies to a place. You know, like, also when you're standing outside a place and there's workers within the place, and just the other day there I was looking at a picture which I think's on the Facebook page, and it shows you some of the lads that were standing outside, and I mean they can't be much older than my son Ali.
Exactly, that is true, that most of them are actually.
And it hit home. I mean, I was like, oh my god, like, so that's like somebody like my son could be in that particular job. And a lot of times it's a case of some people are in those jobs because they don't have a choice, and a lot of people say, well, yeah, you do have a choice, but some people don't. And it's like, well, you know what the benefit system is like in Scotland, it's like sometimes you're forced a hand, you know. So it's for things like that, so you're not getting right up in people's faces, you're not making people that maybe are in that job, not voluntarily, so to speak, feeling like really terrible about it, to the point where it's going to have a negative effect on them as individuals, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to just make them switch jobs unless they're in a position to do so. It might be a case that they have to do that job, and people coming in and putting the guilt trip on them, so to speak, is probably not going to do anybody any good. So it's a case
the opposite desired effect, being quite honest, because I know I worked in there, I was 17 years old, obviously the very same reason really that you're talking about. I was forced in there because I was a semi-professional footballer and I wasn't earning money, so the job centre forced me in there to obviously work. So I was in there for 3 years, so I know that only too well. It's something you want to do.
I figured it out.
It just takes a wee bit of figuring out, but it works.
I've got my wee pal, look.
Oh, beautiful.
I was trying to think, I was looking at all the buttons there and I went, oh, there's a video camera, it's crossed out, I'll try that.
Up the side, you've obviously got the screen share, where you can obviously share your screen if you've got anything you want to discuss for things, you can do that. You've obviously got the wee invite button, and then obviously turn off your microphone, turn on your camera, and basically just the chat thing is that as well. So So that's that basically. You still there? Disappeared. I don't know what's happened. She joined it. She disappeared. I don't know if she's disappeared, guys. I don't know what's happened here. So guys, she's just told me that her laptop switched off. She's actually rebooting it, so she'll be straight back. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. We'll keep discussing things. Just to let you know a little bit of the updates of what's happening with myself at the moment. Actually, this week I'm actually doing my first vegan outreach Scotland stall in Ayrshire, so that should be absolutely amazing. So hopefully I can get you some footage and such likes. It's been a very busy week in the media, as you all know. I've had a lot of videos out, obviously talking about the February dairy and obviously the way that the media is portraying vegan activists at the moment. Like I say, there's a bit of a smear campaign. There's a lot of things obviously hasn't helped the cause in a great way either. So we need to be very, very careful and be compassionate and empathetic towards everybody, because this is a compassionate movement. We don't want anybody having death threats and such likes. If that is happening, that's absolutely disgusting, because I don't accept that in any level, and I hope anybody isn't doing that. But I do know personally that I have had a lot of things from farmers, slaughterhouse workers myself. So I've discussed that in the past, obviously, what's going on. So, you know what I mean? Where's the receipts, as the same goes. Like I say, is this happening? Is this an inside job with animal agriculture to obviously discredit the movement? I do believe in some ways it is. Like Swag Vegan says, good point about working to a budget. It's all about doing the best we can. Exactly, it is about doing the best you can, and that's all any of us can do. You just do the most you can and the best you can. Nobody can be any better than what you're doing, and that's important to understand that, because we've all got to work within our budget, work within what our life, obviously, what we've got to do in our life, whether that be looking after somebody, whether that be a busy lifestyle, working, everything like that. We've got to take all that into consideration, and basically people's mental health as well, because there's only so much suffering you can endure, especially as a vegan activist, because I know that only too well myself. It's basically that old saying that you take in suffering, you become suffering, and that is why a lot of vegan activists obviously end up facing burnout, basically, because there's only so much you can do. It gets to the point you try to do everything, and that just isn't possible. I know that only too well myself. I'm doing so much, and a lot of people have said to me, take a step back and start doing the things that you can do rather than affecting the rest of your life, because you've got to look after yourself before you can look after the animals. Tim's Gersh is saying, well, you have to understand some vegans are bad vegans, so the point is to have to keep to being a good vegan. Yeah, like I say, that is very, very true as well. There's bad people in all walks of life, and just because you're a vegan doesn't make you a good person. Being a good person makes you a good person, and I've said that very, very so often. So it's important to understand that as well. I'm sorry, guys, I'm just checking back with the chat. I'm getting to add Lors back in again, guys. That's her, and invite it back in. So yeah, guys, keep chatting away. Just keep being the inspirations that you all are. That's what I always say. Like I said, being a good person makes you a good person, and that's really what it's all about. We've got to make veganism inclusive to everybody. We've got to start bringing them in. We've got to start being compassionate as much as we possibly can, and being just being thankful for the steps they're trying to make, because at the end of the day, we've got to realise that we're only a small percentage. At the moment, I think they're saying that we're 550,000 vegans, but actually veganism has actually boomed 163% in the last decade. There was like 175,000 actually joined Veganuary last month. So big steps getting made. Veganism is growing exponentially, as we all know, and that's what we've just got to keep doing. We've got to keep educating the public. Like I say, you can try and shut down slaughterhouses all you want, but that's just not going to help, because it's a supply and demand. People will just go elsewhere and buy it. The only thing we've got to do to make veganism grow and to edge towards the vegan world that we want to see is through education, compassion, and being empathetic towards people. That is the only way to do it. Like I say, you only change the world through love. Laura, my wife, says any death threats and I go to the police. Exactly, and that's really unfortunate that it's actually got to get to that people have obviously got to worry that you've got to go to police to because of these kind of things happening, because it's shocking. It really is, and I just don't know why that's happening, but it just shows you that there's that kind of cognitive dissonance and mental distance away from what's actually right and wrong that they actually think they can. Just checking in with Lors, guys. So hopefully she joins us back on the chat. Anybody want to ask any questions, please let me know in the comments below. I think Lors is back.
Hello.
Yeah, you're back. So, yeah, I'm trying to remember where we were from the left there, so.
Basically, I can't remember. All I want to say, though, before I do that is that my laptop is away with the arc. You practically need coal to get it to work, so it just switches itself off sometimes for no reason.
Oh, don't worry about it. But what I was going to chat away to you as well, obviously on your YouTube channel, you'd obviously had a little bit of problems, obviously, with people saying because your son's got autism. And there's a person in the chat at the moment, he's got severe autism, Tim Gersh. He can obviously enlighten on that as well. But like, people were obviously trying to say that you were pushing your veganism on your son, and that's far from the truth, because you don't do anything like that. You actually just try to substitute the things that obviously you can, because it can trigger things that he suffers with. Maybe you can enlighten us in a bit on that and how you deal with things and such likes as well.
Yeah, well, basically what it is that my son has got quite severe autism, but he's got a lot of other things going on with him. He's got severe autism, he's got learning difficulties, he's got sensory processing disorder, he's got hyperacusis, which is a noise or sound sensitivity, not necessarily loud, certain tones and sounds. Now, because of the sensory sensitivities he has, it means that he's used to a certain diet, and like basically you can't just give him something or just try him with new things. He basically won't eat if you try that. So what I have to do is, in the food that he will eat, like when I make particular, like say tomato based sauces and stuff, I'll add like turmeric, garlic, red lentils, paprika, like just the regular paprika, not the smoked or the spicy kind. And so it gets those certain nutrients and antioxidants in them in a sort of kind of a sneaky way, but in a way that he's going to cope with.
Exactly, and obviously you said certain things that you try to, it can, like that kind of gag reflex you talked about, isn't it? I think she's away again. Tim Gersh is saying, yeah, I know he does not see new foods as foods. Exactly, Tim, and that's, you probably know that only too well. So you've kind of spoken of that in your YouTube in the past as well. So are you still there, Lors? Hello, Lors? Don't know what's happened to her. Seems to have disappeared off the chat. Can anybody in the chat tell me if you hear Lors at all? I think she's disappeared off it. Anyway, Swag Vegan says, yeah, if we burn out, we're no good to anyone. Exactly. What use are we to anybody if we can't look after ourselves? That's a big part of it as well. Like I've spoken about, let's say, vegan activism can be a really traumatic thing. Like I say, looking into the animal's eyes and obviously seeing, I've passed trucks recently when I'm bearing witness for the 3 minutes before the animals go to slaughter, and you see tears in their eyes, and it really hurts you so much because you want to help them, and it's a hard one because we call ourselves a safe movement, but at the end of the day, we're still having to actually see those animals go to slaughter, and that's so difficult because at the end of the day, but it's a supply and demand that I spoke about, and the only way we're going to stop that is through education. Is Lors back in the chat? I don't know. Tim Gershes says, yeah, it's bad to just give autistic people too many new things. Yeah, I can imagine that, Tim. I would believe it would be like sensory overload, and that's a really difficult thing. Like Lors has actually spoken on her channel before. Please go over there and subscribe to her as well. That would mean a lot. But she's spoken about it as well, that in the vegan activism type of thing, like if he's actually out and she's out along with him, she's got to kind of protect him for things like, obviously, like when people have got placards or like images of vegan cruelty and such like, because it can actually cause them issues and that as well. It can obviously get really upset in that. So we've got to think of that as well. We've got to approach veganism and make sure we're obviously protecting people that can obviously be in some way triggered with it as well. I think that's important. Yeah, Tim's saying, yeah, her laptop hates her, I guess. Yeah, I think it does, Tim. I say, I don't know what's going on there, but I'll try and add her back in. I'll send her a link again and see if she's back in the chat. Just sending her a link again, guys. We'll get there, don't worry about it.
Is that working?
Hello? That's it now,
God. Yeah. Oh my God. I'm gonna freeze. I'm not gonna move. If a cable moves or anything, my computer goes like that's it. I'm not playing.
We'll try for another 10 minutes or so anyway, and then we'll do another one another time. So yeah, just continue where you kind of left off there, yeah.
What was I talking about? I can't remember now because I've been trying to work this thing.
Talking about obviously Ali and obviously introducing these foods and so. I was going to say to you, Tim was actually saying there, he was saying it's really bad to give autistic people too many things because he says that he can obviously see that you don't see new foods as obviously foods and such, like that's what he suffers with.
Yeah, it's sensory overload, and it's not just taste, it's texture, it's smell, it's everything. Like, even although I give Ali certain foods that he's used to, he will still sniff them. You will put them up to his nose and he will sniff them. He will kind of visually scan the plate to see if there's anything different. And like there could be a thing that he wants, like for example, sometimes he'll eat banana, very rarely, but when he does, it's almost like, yeah, I like the taste of it, but sometimes the texture doesn't sit with him. Yeah. So it can be like he'll eat a banana and then he's okay with it one time, and then he'll try to eat a banana another time and he'll gag on it. So it's like what was getting me a lot was when people were saying about we try to ram things down his throat and stuff, which is couldn't be further from the truth. Basically, it's like trying to get certain things in his diet that might not be any other way of getting them into his diet that are things that he's going to be okay with. So like trying to reduce down some of the things that is better for him not to have too much of. Obviously that's what I'm trying to do, like introducing some plant-based milks. I've tried various different ones, and the only ones he seems to be okay with is cashew milk,
Right, yeah. That's especially like you've said before, it's trying to introduce the things that's obviously going to be the easiest and then building from there.
Yeah, and it's also to help his stomach because I have seen personally a lot of people, even people that aren't vegan, have said, "Oh, it's a myth that it's all connected and stuff like that." But I've seen myself, like if he eats too much dairy, his skin will break out. If he drinks too much dairy or eats too much dairy, other things go on with him. Same with certain meat products that he eats as well, and obviously. I'm not going to ram something down his throat, and he's not got the coherency or that to kind of for you to break a thing down like a lot of people are suggesting. So it's keeping it black and white and making sure that what he does eat and what he does drink is giving him enough of the good nutrients he needs, and obviously trying to reduce down some of the things that's not so good for him. It may be that he will maybe never be able to completely eliminate everything out of his diet, but he might.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's better that he's got less of something that's going to be not so good for him rather than not try and do what I'm doing. And the same with the things that's better for him, bringing them in a kind of a different way.
That's it. Tim Gersh is saying here, he says, try eating his foods with him. It's like monkeys eating berries and it won't eat till it sees another monkey eat them. But I don't think that would make any difference, really, whether you sit and eat them with him. I don't know.
But I mean, he'll try. I mean, like, for example, I was making fried sausages for myself one day, and he was like, "What's that? That is?" And I said, "It's sausages, but it's." And he was reading the packet, "Oh, meat free," and it's all that, And he said, "I'll still try." Now that is a rarity for him to do that. And he put it up to his nose and he smelt it, and he said, "Alice, I'll try." So when I made them for him, he did eat them. But there's other things that he's done that with and smelt them and said he wants to try them, and then when maybe the smell's been okay, and then when you've tried to give him it, he's got it to his mouth and he's just major gagged on it. Yeah. And some foods can actually make you sick, can make him sick, and it's not because there's anything wrong with them.
That's it. It's Tim's just saying there, how old is your kid? He's actually 21. It's actually his 21st birthday today, isn't it, Lors?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a young lad now.
So what have you kind of got planned for his birthday and that? Have you kind of done anything? Obviously, I knew you were getting him a birthday cake and things. So
yeah, he's like he's not like a neurotypical lad, especially a neurotypical lad at his age. Like in some respects, he's kind of like a young man. In some ways, he thinks, and others, it's almost like having a toddler and an adult in the one person, because he has. God, I wonder what that was.
It's Fudge squeaking his toy.
Oh my God! No, he's he gets his couple of presents that he wants, and then he likes. And this is the weird thing with Ali. He very rarely will eat a slice of birthday cake. But he likes the process of the birthday cake, like lighting the candles, being sung happy birthday, kind of, all that kind of stuff. But very, very rarely will he eat a bit of birthday cake. And if he does, it's a tiny, tiny wee bit. So today really has been a bit more about like just opening his couple of presents, and kind of he's been saying to me like, "Oh, I'm 21 today," and you say to him, "Do you want to do anything?" and all that. And 9 times out of 10 he doesn't. It's just another day for him, but it's just got a couple of extra added things that he likes to introduce into his day.
That's it. Obviously, just to let you know, Swag Vegan says that he's just subscribed to you. He says, "Well done, you." He says,
"Hello."
He was great. We obviously had a great. You'll have seen the chat we done the other day.
Yeah. I subbed to him the other day there, but he probably was like, "Who the hell's that?"
Not at all. Absolutely. So the weather's quite bad here. It's been quite bad snow and things like that. How's it been up your way? And
same, yeah, it's been snowing, but like it was funny because I went out to the bin early and it was like cold, and then I came back in and I was doing something, and I was like, I walked past the hall and I just saw it was awfully bright outside, and I was like, what the heck? So I looked out the side window and I was like, oh my God, where did that come from? Just out of nowhere.
What I was going to ask you as well, obviously we know about, obviously you kind of feel connected to obviously the sea and such, like, so that's why you do a lot of things. Well, obviously you've done and clean the beaches and things like that, and you were obviously looking into doing that marine course and things like that. And if you want to talk a wee about the kind of things you do with the sea and such likes as well, that'd be great.
Yeah, it's like basically I find in this area anyway, I mean, I was speaking to a friend of mine just yesterday about this, and she said people are getting lazy and nonchalant. You know, they're like, people drive up to down beside where the Fourth Rail Bridge is, they park their car up, they'll maybe have a McDonald's or something, and they will literally roll down the window and go, just chuck it. And you're like, dude, you know, the bin's right over there, you know.
Exactly. Some of the towns actually you can get fined in that, because one of the boys, he's actually autistic as well. He goes to the college near me. He actually dropped litter the other week there, and they actually fined him £80.
Yeah. Well, that's it. But I mean, I think it's like what I was saying about taking things in a different direction as far as the activism side of things goes. I mean, like bringing more positivity and like having fun days and things like that, and introducing certain things to youngsters. So it's a fun thing. It's not just like, oh, look at this or look at that. It's a, like, you know, for example, the Soldiers of the Sea thing.
Yeah.
Part of that is about like, you know, saying to the people that are going through the door, you know, you do realise that, you know, sharks, the different species of some of the rays and that they've got in there, the seals, you walk round the corner from Deep Sea World and they're in their natural habitat. It's nuts.
It's shocking. It's really is. I've actually got a video that I'm going to be posting shortly about Sea World that I done in Australia. And see the penguins, they were absolutely lame. There was ones actually broken legs and such likes, and I was shocked at it. I said to the guys in there, I said, and they were looking after them and that, and they says, oh, they're absolutely fine. He says, they're well looked after in here, but the poor wee thing was suffering, and it was up against the glass as if, kind of reaching out as if to say, come and help me.
It's horrible. I mean, like, it's like, why would you pay to go in somewhere like that when I'm not saying all the species of marine wildlife that are in there you can get at the door, but the seals, the certain species of sharks now are coming into Scottish waters, you know, and obviously they don't have whales and things like that in Deep Sea World in North Queensferry, but you know, you get all different species of whales, you get a lot of humpbacks coming into like North Queensferry, South Queensferry area, the Firth and the Forth estuary,
right? Yeah.
A lot. So, you know, there's no need to go to places like that. There really isn't.
No, but people obviously, they think, oh, it's a great family day out and that, and so they go and take their kids to it, and that's why these things obviously exist. So it's the same as the safari parks and such likes as well. I mean,
well, that's it. And I mean, like, what I'd like to know is who came up with the idea of putting that right underneath the Fourth Rail Bridge where all the trains are going over. Like, a lot of the beings that are in there are super sensory sensitive, like sharks. You think, what brainwave, you know, not.
It's obviously just for the sake of convenience, because they know that they'll obviously get people coming in a lot easier. I don't know if that's maybe
Yeah, it's crazy. So I think what I want to do with Soldiers of the Sea really is trying to educate without ramming it down people's throats, but bringing about the fun side of things, you know, and then like giving people an alternative. Like, if you've got families going in there, instead of just being like, oh, don't go in there and getting all in their face about it, saying, look, you know, like some of the kids, like especially young lads, and they're like, oh, the sharks and all that, like, this is one thing, obviously it won't happen straight away, but you can go online and you can download little files of things, and it tells you the type of species of sharks and different fish that are in the area, and you can actually go along the beach and find like discarded egg cases and pods and stuff, and figure out what actual species are in the area. it's a learning curve without any harm, without having to pay to go into these places. And you probably find out more just by walking along the beach or looking out over the ocean or whatever than you would in there anyway.
Tim's actually saying, he says, well, this makes me think of zoos. As a vegan, I was told they were bad, but as a child with autism, I had a hard time dealing with people and I kind of needed animals.
Yeah. I mean, like Ali's, he has like, he's like, people to come to places before, you know, like zoos and stuff like that when he was younger, like when he was at play schemes and stuff like that, and he really didn't have, he was more interested in like other things that was going on as opposed to seeing the animals in their enclosures and stuff like that anyway. So I mean, that's a good thing, but he's always been a sea baby. Like, he likes to potter about in the water and that kind of a thing. So to him, it's
much like his mother. Can we hear her? I don't know. Sounds went. I think the sounds went again. Can't you hear nothing? So I think our sounds went, guys. So we'll just keep chatting away. She cut off again. Yes, she has, Tim. I think it's cut off for some reason, but I think what we'll do is we'll just end it today. Will we? I'll just message. I can't hear nothing at all. It's totally disappeared. Thanks a lot, Lors. I don't know what's happened. It's just seemed to have... So guys, anyway, I think what we'll do is we'll finish it up for today. We'll get another stream going very, very shortly. It's been absolutely great. Thanks very much for Lors coming on. Like I say, sounds gone, as she says, but absolutely amazing. Please, everybody, go and subscribe to her. She's one of the most loveliest people, and she's my adopted big sister. I think the absolute world there. Please go and support her. It would mean the world. Like I always say, binge on life, pause negativity, and starve guilty feelings, and be kind to every kind. The only difference is your perception. Speak to you all soon.